Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Memorial Day, so let's start with some silence. And just to show you, I pay homage to today as a day of barbecue. It's a day that people go to the beach. Today might be the day that they also go to the stores and buy up all the liquor, all the hot dogs, all the hamburgers, and I decide to just have quiet time happy hour with you all. It's a little strong. So, in case the title hasn't indicated it, which it should, this is a sort of flash review, super late to the community party with one of these fragrances. Well, all of them actually. Yeah, all of them. That would all of them. The one that I will be referencing today or highlighting is going to be none other than Armaf's Club de Nuit Milestone. So everybody kind of knows already by this point that this is a clone of this Millesime Imperial by Creed. I got to test this fragrance out for about a week. I will say that it is very long lasting. It smells, I want to say 99.6% close to the original Millesime Imperial. Millesime Imperial, we all know it's already a fruity, sort of aquatic, marine accord, woodsy fragrance. It has wonderful, sort of invigorating notes that can attract people as you go by because it is a fresh fragrance, even though it's only listed to be having a fruit cocktail of some sorts, like dry fruit, salt, iris, especially with that musk and that woodsy and marine dry down. Now, the woodsy, I can attest, might be like some sort of driftwood accord or something that kind of brings along that salty, woody vibe. But that does not take away at all from the wonderfully fresh, fruity top that it has. It is a great fragrance for the heat and for the summer. That is not argued, I don't think, by anyone. However, the dispute between this guy and this guy will be longevity. I had to throw my third boy in here. This was my old bottle of Millesime Imperial. As you can see, I don't have much. This is a 2013 batch. Very, very heavy on the salt versus the fruit side. So it's a very salt dominant, extremely powerful on just the initial spray. This is very strong, not cloying, but just strong. And if you could kind of get past it, then you're in for a treat for at least 2 to 3 hours, because then it's completely gone. Completely. As you can see, this bottle is well loved. I have used this a lot. And the only excuse I can give you is that I oversprayed with this particular bottle. It is a weak batch in terms of longevity. It is a fantastic fragrance for the first 2 to maybe 3 hours. That cannot be argued. And we can compare it to other things like Rush of Unicorns or even Sean John and Love and Luck by Ed Hardy. But none of them seem to quite capture the sort of majesty in the mixing of these accords. This particular batch, which is a 2019 batch, 19P01 to be exact, lasts a very long time. I'm not even kidding. I've done a few rounds in using this fragrance over these really hot days that we've been having down here in Florida. And I can attest that when the heat is on, this thing turns up. It turns up really, really loud, and it can project really well. I did not detect it becoming a skin scent after the 6 to 7 hour mark. 6 to 7 hour mark. After that, it became a skin scent. And then it lasted all the way until the next day. I could still smell it on my skin. Not that I had to dig my nose in, I could just sort of smell it and it was there. So this made me very happy because I love this fragrance and I didn't want to overspray on something like this for such a long time because, let's face it, it's not cheap to be overusing or overspraying, but I digress. So let's get down to this bad boy, this Club de Nuit Milestone. This is a great, great clone of these, because it smells, like I said, 99.6% exactly like Millesime Imperial by Creed. And this one is a hot ticket item now. So if you're looking for this online, if you're looking for this from any fragrance distributor and you find it, it's not going to come too cheap. You might find it around the $50 mark or even more than that. I find that criminal. This is Armaf. This is a clone house. This should not be sold at such a high price, regardless of the demand, in my opinion. I feel that if you're gonna keep climbing these prices, then you might as well buy this at a discounter, because it'll only be about $40, $50 more. So I highly disagree with overinflating something like this, which, although the quality of the bottle, the quality of the juice inside is A+, it's fantastic. Nobody, I don't think, unless you don't like these kind of fragrances, sort of like a woody, an aromatic marine accord fragrance, if you're not into that, then that's understandable. But if you are into things like this, freshies or things for the summer, something that's going to give you vibrancy, life, and just the life of the party. I mean, I know I'm late. I know I'm late to this party, okay? I'm late. I'm late to all the parties, but it's all right. I'd rather be late than never show up. And here I am to give you my take on this fragrance. Again, this fragrance is an amazing replica of this fragrance. It's not a trashy version of it. It's not synthetic, as everybody likes to say, although every single fragrance has synthetics in it, so everybody needs to just realize that and move on. If you're talking about a synthetic mess, then perhaps it's a fragrance where the notes that have been used or the accords that were used just don't vibe with your olfactory senses, but doesn't mean that it doesn't vibe with other people's. That being said, there's a lot to be said about a fragrance macerating or the maturation of that fragrance once you've had it. Maceration is just how long the perfumers allow that fragrance or juice to sit before being distributed. And if there's a high demand, then the fragrance will probably be out sooner than it should be, and therefore you might experience longevity issues. But if you hang on to the fragrance long enough, you'll probably start to see better performance. Maybe not stellar, but better performance. That's usually the rule of thumb. If you don't like this fragrance, then this video isn't for you. But if you love or like this fragrance, then I suggest finding this if you can. Remember, I personally wouldn't pay over $50 for this fragrance. It's just me. It's not about being cheap. It's not about you like what you like. I get all those things, and that's very subjective. It's true. If you do like it and you want to spend the money and you have the money to do it, then do it. I mean, don't even listen to me. But if you're someone that's trying to like cop a deal or get something on the low, then you know what? I wouldn't pay more than 50 bucks for this. I don't care how bad you want it. There's other cheaper options out there that will smell similar to this. The longevity on this is fantastic. I mean, fantastic. This thing lasted 8+ hours on my skin. Nothing lasts that long on my skin unless I overspray. And I did not overspray with this. I actually did 2 sprays on each arm and allowed it to just go. And this thing was going. I would get wafts of it when I would walk. Outside, the heat would really propel this thing to be more and more bright. And I just enjoy this thoroughly enjoy this and absolutely love this. So what I do is I just kind of mix and match. I'll maybe do a couple sprays on my neck with this guy, and then on my arm and shirt maybe with this guy, or under my shirt, or whatever. I have a very odd routine of spraying fragrances. It's not the same as everyone else, and I do not subscribe or prescribe my applications to anyone. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to sort of just mention the packaging of this bad boy. Typical nice Armaf presentation, but if you start to open it up and look inside, there's something that's rather familiar to people who purchase Creed, and that would be this thing. They actually have an insert, a card, made of basically the same material that Creed's is, but instead of having the 2 Creed ambassadors for the brand, they just literally have this, which is Club de Nuit Intense Man, Club de Nuit Urban Man, and then on this side they have these other 2 Armafs, which is Club de Nuit Milestone, obviously, and Club de Nuit Women. That's what they added with this insert, which goes right in here to the side, and then you close the box up. Nobody cares about the box. I get it. You're not wearing the box, are you? Are you wearing the box? Are you like, no, you're not doing that. I do care about the quality of the juice. And the quality of the juice is what you all are tuning in for, or what you all look for online. You want to know whether or not, if you spend the money on this, whether it's going to be worth it, or if it's better to just go out and buy the actual Millesime Imperial, or go out and buy Love and Luck by Ed Hardy, or Russia Unicorns, or whatever. Whatever other fragrance. The Chanjan one too. I personally did not like the Chanjan one. It had a very stinky, funky vibe about it. I have no idea if they, whatever they did. But just know that when a perfumer is working on a fragrance, It's not that they don't want to give you longevity. It's not that they don't want the fragrance to last longer. Concentration obviously has a part in it, but also whatever fixatives they're using in the fragrance has a big impact on whether or not it's going to hold on longer to the notes or onto your skin. So sometimes it's just micro drop after micro drop of whatever they're trying to put to bind the fragrance and to create a wonderful blend for you all. Sometimes the fragrance is so beautiful, but if they add a little bit more of this sort of weight or this base to hold the fragrance together, be it musk, be it amber, or whatever, labdanum, whatever could kind of hold the fragrance together and have a really nice, warm, heavy base, it might overpower the overall feeling of the fragrance that they'd like to give you. This is just speculation, obviously. I'm not a perfumer. My sister is a perfumer, and I know other perfumers that are licensed perfumers, and I have this conversation with them, and it's very important to know this so that when you're going out and looking for a fragrance, you're not thinking that they're purposely trying to harm your wallet. Although, that also might be a point of reference. They might just be saying, you know what, I hope it doesn't last long, so that they overspray and they buy another bottle. That could be the conspiracy version of this. I'm not gonna get into that, but you can. You can research, comment down below, and let me know if that sounds like something that is going on. I personally just, from knowing people who are perfumers, who work in the perfume industry, and who have dabbled and mixed things, it is a matter of science. It is an exact science. It's a formula. They use thousands of chemical compounds to come up with some of these accords, which is why it's very general, and they'll say, oh, woodsy accords, or this accord. They'll talk about that, and they'll make it seem very generalized, but it's just because they're giving you an idea of what they were going for in that particular accord. And that's the smell that they were trying to convey. So if you know that, and you kind of use that logic with the other logic, then you'll kind of put together that they're not trying to purposely mess with you or your wallet and say, I hope this fragrance doesn't last long, screw them. No, I think it's more of, we are going to sacrifice the integrity of this ultimate smell that we got, that we love, that this is what we want to put out there. But unfortunately, if we add a little bit more of this, it'll change that smell and therefore won't be what we want. So maybe it's that. That's my speculation. I'm gonna go with that. If you found this video helpful, which I hope you did, because Club de Nuit Milestone is a fantastic fragrance. Don't overpay for it. I don't advise it. You can find other alternatives that are cheaper, in fact, that smell like Millesime Imperial. If you want Millesime Imperial, it's not that expensive. Actually, through discounted fragrance online shops, you can find it at a really good price. But if you don't want to go there and you said, you know what, I don't have the money to kind of spend $160, $150, or even $140, that's understandable. I get it. I don't have it all the time, but I make sure that I try to do my due diligence in research so I can get the best bang for my buck in terms of the fragrance I'm looking for. For Milestone, I believe it is a superb clone. In fact, I think it is the superior clone. You might think differently, and that's fine. You are entitled to that. My personal opinion, it is a superior clone. It is fantastic. It is, like I said, 99.6% close. So I think that that kind of information might help you make sort of a better decision. And if you want to go and check it out, I completely think you should. There are people, I think, that are selling decants of it. I mean, for prices that I'm like, I mean, why? You could get a decant of the actual Creed for that. But if you really want to test out a fragrance, you need more than just 1 or 2 milliliters. The 1 or 2 milliliters is just to give you an idea what it smells like. It will not give you an accurate representation of the performance of the fragrance. And I say this because when you use the actual atomizer on your fragrance, the disbursement is vastly different. Vastly different. You are getting more juice per pump than you would with a small little 1 or 2 milliliter sample. So you're getting a wider spray of coverage, generally, depending on the sprayer, obviously. In Creed's defense, yes, you're gonna get a splash, wide, long spray of juice. For the Club de Nuit Milestone, it is very, I would say exactly similar to Club de Nuit Intense sprayer and Club de Nuit Man's sprayer. All the ones that come in that square, with the square top and the bling, all those have the same atomizers, sprayers on them. So that'll give you an idea of how that one sprays. But let me not talk and let me show you. So this is the spray, this fragrance, and there's where it goes. Here's Creed, and here's this atomizer, and here's how this spray goes. Much further and wider. That was a lot of information. In conclusion, I want to give you that quick little dive into comparing both Millesime Imperial and Club de Nuit Milestone head to head, which is what happened. It was head to head. And I love them both. I will be using it. I will be buying more. I just can't get enough of that fragrance. I hope this information was super useful to you. Like I said, it's never too late to join the party. I'll arrive there. It might be later than you want, but I'll arrive there. With that being said, you all take care. Thank you so much. Smash that like button so we can get some, YouTube algorithm battling going on here. Also, comment down below. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me about whether or not you've tried these fragrances, or tell me something else. Maybe you heard of another Millesime Imperial clone that I haven't even mentioned, or that I don't even know of. Let us know. I would really appreciate that. Also, click that bell so whenever we upload any content from this channel, which is a variety channel, obviously, you will be the first to know. And then you'll get that email and go, oh my gosh, they just uploaded something. Let me see what that's all about. Take care. Thank you. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Deuces.